Oh,
yeah.
God,
Call me
finally.
Dirty Dave.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Start it. We're ready to go.
We figured out the
Are you?
whole puzzle.
Did you?
No.
Well, we're going to find out
It's okay.
tonight, because in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war, and tonight there is only Warhammer. Welcome to the Tainted Hive, Season 2, Children of Rokarth, our playthrough of Warhammer 40k Imperium Maledictum by Cubicle 7, and our flagship game, brought to you by the confusion of 4 members and PrimetimeMagic.com.
It is.
Yeah, you know
you
what's
so
not
much.
confusing?
Is this
Shopping
like-
at PrimetimeMagic.com.
That's exactly it. It's a lot easier than trying to figure out the plaguing troubles of a hive world.
Can I
Just-
phone a friend at PrimetimeMagic.com to figure out what the fuck is going on?
And also,
Yeah, but even they won't be able to tell you. But they will have some beautiful magic singles for your purchase.
and
That
for
would
your
make me feel
convenience,
better.
Brad has nothing to do with their shipping or logistics in any way. So for your comfort,
Thank you so much to the guys over at PrimetimeMagic.com for supporting us through the entirety of the second season of the Children of Rokarth, second season of the Tainted Hive, Children of Rokarth. We appreciate them. And with that, let's get straight to the fun. So last time on the Tainted Hive, guys, the last episode is aptly called Deliberation, as you had to think of what to have happen next. Now, you picked up a weapon supply, and with the scions that were sent by Halakarn, you all made your way off into town. And as you made your way into Ditch Haven, you all got that weird feeling at the base of your neck as if you're being watched. That feeling of being in your basement with the lights off and feeling like you have to run up the stairs because nothing's going to be okay. You made your way into the town, and as that feeling pervaded, you cut down an alley, looking for problems, looking for what was giving you that feeling. And one of the scions noticed something, and out of an abundance of caution and concern, lifted what appeared to be a brick or a rock of some kind where he thought he saw something. And he was right, he did. It was also the last thing he ever saw as the explosive charge went off, utterly killing Solo, launching Tether, Swag, Roderick, and Mordecai back with concussive damage. Dmitry and Osiris and Leovold managing to avoid it. You all ended up finding, thanks to Osiris's ability to see through walls, damn psychers, who detonated that charge as they ran away, but were immediately crushed by psychic power. And you all went in, found out it was yet another member of what you believed to be a gene stealer cult, who would give you no information, even when a chainsword was put through his face. Which, in retrospect, it's kind of hard to give you information when the teeth of a chainsword are eating through your face. But as you all did that, Mordecai and Dmitry and the Scions came around the buildings, 2 different directions, and the Scions were attacked. And as we left off last time, you had just gotten done speaking to Sister L.T. Maledictum of the Sisters Hospitalier, who is going to speak to Petronilla on your behalf to find out what she can share from the tardigrade fields that may help you. But what you know thus far is that the Seneschal Corvus Malicent has said your task remains the same, to take care of the Gratis. Dmitry is slightly panicked about gene stealers in the Hive, rightly so. And when we pick up right now, it is mid-afternoon. You are still in that Hab unit, having just gotten off the phone with L, who will vox you back. Vox with L, who will vox you back after she speaks to Petronilla. And I ask of you, gentlemen, what would you like to do to continue your investigation and or next steps?
so I think we would start engaging in some conversation, yeah?
No, I just
It
want to go
seemed
make a BLT. I'm good.
It seemed like Elena had business to do in the tardigrade fields. So did Citronilla. Citronilla got destroyed there. We'll find out what happened to her soon, hopefully. What? What's
She
this?
just thinks it's funny how we always mispronounce her name, even though we know her name.
Oh, gotcha. That is, it's canon now.
It is.
Petronilla is now
So-
Citronilla. Used to be
Elena-
Nutter Butter.
Elena also was attacking the Cutters. She said she wished that she had never got involved with the Gratis. It's not worth the money. And if she had it to do over, she wouldn't do it again. And she was attacking the Cutters. But the Cutters are probably not the ones who killed her. Right? Because she was shot with the weapon in the melty face.
Why not
It
the
seems-
Cutters, though?
Unless they have the weaponry.
I mean, I did say, it's either, in my head, we either need to go to Cutters or Tardigrade Fields. We were going to go to Convexum. We got sidetracked.
Yeah.
We already kind
Well,
of
anything that we
just
could have
what we got.
gotten, anything that we could have gotten from the Tardigrade Fields, hopefully we'll be able to get that from Petronella.
Also, who attacked you fellas? What did they look like? Did they look like the fella on the floor, but with a face?
The two scions just look at you both and go, they looked like average citizens, but they had all sorts of shoddy weaponry. Mostly auto guns. One
You
last
didn't
gun.
get a chance to see their skin? Did it look like the skin here?
They seem to like tense up in their posture, and Leoval goes, I mean, the scions are the best. Oh, sorry. I mean, the scions are the best of the best. They probably took them out with headshots.
No, that's fine. I was
Every
hoping
time
to.
you start to talk as them, you realize you're not using a Wisconsin Uber accent and just kind of...
I'm not going to lie. If it hasn't been apparent at this point, I'm 100% basing Leoval Chromo on Shorzy.
Yeah, no, it's apparent. It's actually not bad. I thought you only had Irish in you, but
It's what I got mostly. But occasionally, you watch enough Shorzy, and every once in a while you just go, yeah, sure.
oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
What did you say they had on them? They had a bunch of just auto guns? Shoddy auto guns?
auto guns. Yeah. The one tried to take a shot at you. I put that round right through his head.
Sounds like another place I've seen. Lots of
Yeah.
shoddy auto guns hanging around.
Where's that? Leovold looks at you.
Cutters.
Cutters.
Mm-hmm.
So are you thinking that they have something to do with this then?
Clearly they do.
I think they don't
I
have
mean-
nothing to do with this.
Even if they don't have something to do with it, they're being manipulated somehow. That lady stood right there looking at that person who was obviously not Elena and denied us our bounty.
Mm.
Clearly, she's either her head is completely being taken over, or she's playing us.
I'm going to go with the first one.
Yeah.
So the Countess it is then.
One problem.
Oh, boy.
They're heavily fortified. So
I hold up my
that's
bolt
just
pistol.
we
Me
have
too.
multi-bombs. Let's
Whoa,
just
we do
blow
have
them up.
We do.
Let's just crash their place.
Can you do remote detonation on melta bombs?
Mm-hmm.
You, with a little bit of engineering, you could rig a detonator, yes.
And we have a
Would you-
demolition specialist right there.
With a tech test, Brad?
If you want to add remote detonation capabilities to the melt bombs given to you by Halikarn, it's going to require a complicated test. You're going to have to make an ordnance test to, first of all, be able to open them to install the detonating procedure. And then you have to make a tech test to do it right.
So understood if our dumbasses were trying to do that. And I'm going to let it slide that Halikarn clearly sent us a brand new dumbass private who doesn't know not to touch shit that looks weird. Which is on brand for him.
It is on brand for the Imperial Guard, yeah.
But the remaining three claim to be the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
I would think they would know how to use and manipulate Imperial ordnance.
Probably a safe assumption of a Tempestus Scion.
I gotta look
Brad?
something up real quick.
Okay, look something up.
The hab unit of Morketh, is that situated in such a way that we can see the cutters hang out if we go up to the 5th floor? Now, every time we go past the cutters hangout, you say they're just kind of right on the edge of town just as we're leaving, and so is Morketh's place just before we cross the ship bridge.
Yep.
So I'm assuming they're close.
They're very close. So to give you scope, the cutter parts is along the main drag that goes from Ditch Haven north along the outside wall of the hab. The cutter parts is basically up against the edge of Vol. It is still within the shadow of the wall. Ditch Haven then spreads out from there, right? Morketh's hab unit in the square that had the compactor that, to the best of your knowledge, cut off Elena's legs
Mm-hmm.
is less than a quarter mile away.
Right.
It's across the main drag and down a street.
Could I, like, 5th floor book suppository this building? Is kind of what I'm asking. The hangout.
Wait, what?
Never
talking
mind.
about?
Forget about that.
I was like, what?
It's a reference to American history. Just never mind. But what I'm saying
sorry.
is,
it's been a long time since I've seen that.
yeah, is there a way that I can go into that hab unit and see the activity coming in and out of the cutter's parts?
I will tell you that the last time you were there, you did make your way through every single hab unit in that building, and you made your way up to the 5th floor, and you saw the crates and other markings, and those windows do look in a way where you could see into cutter's parts somewhat. As a reminder, many of the habs are similar heights, so you're not looming tall above everything else, but you remember that there is some ability to see there.
Okay. And is there hab units directly across from cutter's parts that would have a better vantage point that possibly we could get on the roof to... I'm just trying to see if I can see people going in and out of this place or up into the place in a better way, so I can get an idea of who's coming in and out.
There are plenty of elevated hab units where if you got up onto a roof, you would absolutely be able to see into the cutter parts yards. Now, as a reminder of the cutter parts, it is a fenced and gated space, and they do have watchtowers. And to your point, they are heavily armed.
Yep.
Okay. But yes, there are places that you know of within a reasonable distance where you could see into the yard from the roof or a 5th floor.
Seems like they need a distraction, and somebody should watch and get their attention while somebody plants some charges. That's my opinion, but let's proceed however you guys feel.
Yep. Sounds like a plan to me.
How many guard towers do they have?
The last of your knowledge, there were 3 that you've seen so far. One on either side of the gate and one partially down the main drag wall on the way out of town.
So less than 5.
Less than 5. Okay, so talk to me about the plan here, guys. What are we doing? All I keep hearing is cutter parts, and now Alex is talking about blowing things up.
So I guess
sounds
we
like
need
a good plan to me.
If we're gonna like frontal assault this hardened target, or if we're gonna try and get in and then caution it.
Right.
Go in individually.
Okay.
I mean, we could walk in as a group.
Yeah, we've been in there before. It's not like we've
Yeah.
been denied access, but
Right.
now we're being targeted and hunted down every time we move in the city.
So cutter's parts, if I'm remembering correctly, is basically has a wall around it, right?
Correct.
How in that wall, I'm assuming, is like, I don't know, 5 meters?
About 5 meters tall.
Sure.
Had razor wire along the top because they do a lot of weapons testing and they sell a lot of weapons.
Sure.
Mhm.
Okay. And did they have patrols walking around the outsides of the walls, or just the guard towers up on
You
the...
never saw a patrol outside of the walls because that is a road.
Sure.
What you remember is that when you went into the main yard, there's just a lot of people and a lot of activity.
Okay. I think we should plant melta bombs around the outside of that fucking wall and set them on a timer, and then just make sure that we're not in the radius of the explosions when they go off, but go in.
I also
Should
think we should
we-
rig the train to explode. I don't know what they're doing with it, but it can't be good.
Okay, maybe we do 3 melta bombs on the outside and save 2 with us to go in with.
Take that.
And do you want somebody on the hab units to watch the perimeter while you're doing that to get extra eyes to...
I mean, my thought was Penumbra, go up to the tower, scope them out for maybe 30 minutes to an hour, see if
Mhm.
there's anything you can see with your scope while we're setting up how we're going to plant these charges around the outside. My brain turned
That
on in the
sounds
last
good.
like 30 minutes, if you couldn't tell.
I'm very glad your brain turned on. The brain fog appears to have worn off.
That sounds good to me. If me and somebody else go up, watch this place, try to see if there's any activity we can pick up on, and also maybe get an idea of what their routine is, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And go from
Levo
there.
looks to you and goes, yeah, sure, I'll go with you. It's an easy one. Pats his hotshot las gun with a small scope on it.
I pat mine with a very large scope.
just the Johnny Depp Pirates of the Caribbean pulling out the longer and longer.
So
You got it.
let's go to the hab unit that you're looking to post up in. The group
Yep.
of the rest of us will probably post up on like the 1st or 2nd floor. while you go up to the roof, and we'll get our melt bombs and stuff prepped while you're getting scouting done.
Where are
Anybody
we
else?
currently, Brad?
You are currently in an unknown hab down an alley about a block and a half to 2 blocks away from Morketh's apartment.
All right, I would like to purgate.
Okay.
I would also like to purgate.
Okay. you both purgate in a room with all of you and 3 scions. Go.
Hell yeah.
I hate you guys.
Are we still in a stressful situation, Brad?
I'm going to say yes because you are actively being hunted, and I don't think you guys have had a
I'm
moment of
gonna
respite
I'm
yet.
gonna counter
Understood.
with no because we're in a random hab unit down an alleyway that no one knows where we're at.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, they do. We haven't moved since we've been ambushed, or those guys have been
I was
ambushed.
just trying to quote what Brad just said.
I'm going to hit you with your
Purgation.
favorite thing to say to me. Nuh-uh.
Nuh-uh.
All right, challenging
it's an
plus
infallible
0.
logic.
Discipline psychic
Challenging
test.
+0 psychic test. It is stressful.
Hey, Dmitry, maybe you can talk to these scions about getting those multi-bombs rigged to triggers of some sort.
Well, so I was looking at the melta-bombs, and
Okay.
I was confusing them with demolition charges.
Ah,
Those are the ones
demolition
that have the
charges.
remote detonators.
Demolition,
Dude, demolition
charges
charges are
automatically have a
cheap.
remote detonator.
Yeah.
I still have at least one.
Do
That
you?
is a
Yeah,
There's discipline.
remember we had
it's
demolition
discipline.
charges
discipline
when
psychic.
we were. Sorry, we had demolition charges when we were at the Convexum. We were going to
Yep.
send them down the shaft. We didn't, and then Dmitry and Osiris
yeah.
rigged a demolition charge and a grenade, and I said I'll see how it goes. So I still have mine.
You still have one. Okay, so you still have
Yeah.
8 demolition charge as well as 5 melta-bombs.
61 over 31, so no.
You do not successfully purgate. Unfortunate. Osiris?
Can't
Just
wait to
holding
open
it
an
in.
eye that just swallows this whole planet. It's going to be great.
Said it was-
Osiris, how'd your purgation test
It
go?
was discipline psychic,
Discipline psychic, challenging +0.
47 under 59.
Okay, so you do successfully purgate with 1 success level. So you're going to be able to purgate up to your willpower bonus of 4 + 1, so you can purgate up to 5 charges.
Okay.
How many charges are you purgating?
Purgate 3.
3 charges. Perfect. Roll me a D100.
Would you like me to roll the 2 D10s or would you like me to roll the D100?
2 D10s. I didn't realize you had an actual 100-sided die. Holy shit.
have a
Um,
blast.
I
Lasting
just
charge, my
pictured
bad.
Mad Eye Moody with like that as an eye instead
As
of
an
his
eye.
own.
Yeah.
compound fly eyeball.
Yeah.
So it's just whatever's on the die.
Whatever's on the die.
You're gonna like this. 92.
Okay. So a 92, because you purgated 3 warp charges, adds 30 to the roll, which is a 122. That is a psychic breakthrough. Please roll me another D100. We were so close to a peril of the warp. We were 4 points away.
I know it was 126, right?
Yep.
Psychic breakthrough. That sounds like a good thing. Hang on.
It's not, because you're going to roll the psychic phenomena again, but now both the short and lingering effects apply.
Mm-hmm.
This is psychic phenomena I was looking at.
Still get the plus 30.
It's not going to still be with plus 30 now, because you just re-roll on the phenomena table.
61.
61, okay.
Distorted reflection.
So reflective surfaces in the area distort whatever they reflect, showing a twisted and disturbing version of reality. Actually, do I have the plus 30? Hang on.
Kind of seems like you would.
You
It's
would,
still
because
the
you
same.
roll again on the table. So it's going to become a 91, which is Veil of Darkness. So all light sources dim substantially, permanently. The zone is now permanently lit. So all of you watch as like the lumens on the walls just become less effective. The whole space is dimly lit.
Oh, so nothing happened. Perfect.
It's like a weird like darkness that permeates and
So
lingers in that space.
to my perspective, nothing happened.
Nothing
Got
changes
it.
yet. You don't
Got
even
it.
notice what you did.
So
And I'm
what
also
I'm saying
mad at
is
double
zero
purgation.
consequences.
There are no consequences to that action. We were so close to Perils of the Warp. I would have been so excited.
I was kind of hoping, to be
I
honest.
was too. I've wanted a Peril of the Warp for the whole time we've played this game. We haven't gotten there. All
Maybe
right.
next season.
Maybe next season.
All right, so yeah, I'm back down to 2.
Back down to 2. Okay. And Dmitry, you have a detonation or a demolition charge, which does have the remote detonator.
No, he has a blasting charge. My bad.
You
I
have
have blasting
charge.
charges. Mordecai has the demolition charge.
No, it's a blasting charge. I don't have a demolition charge.
Oh.
I misspoke.
You all have blasting charges and melta-bombs.
Shit.
Did you want to try to hook up a remote detonator? You're Astra Militarum. You know anything can eventually be made remote detonation.
Blasting charge specifically says that it's normally used for mining operations and can be remote detonated in chains or whatever. So it has the potential to do it, even though it says that it's a thrown item.
Yep.
Okay.
I bet that bitch would go off if it's right next to a melta-bomb. Just saying.
Those are on timers, though.
Melta-bombs are normally on timers, yes.
Sure.
As you debate on how you want to handle that, where are you guys going to get eyes on the cutter parts? You're a block and a half away from Morkath's old apartment. There are hab units across from the cutter parts, but you don't know who resides in them, and you haven't been in any of them yet. So where would you like to go?
I would probably go to the place that we know we can get into.
All right.
Personally. But
Here's a thought. That lady was all whacked out when we tried to claim the bounty.
mm-hmm.
How about we try and claim the bounty again, but this time with this headless corpse stuffed full of explosives. And we try and get the science to make that bitch remote detonate. Or it could be a time thing, and we set it for a time thing, and then one of you guys with good perception or like verbal skills.
Oh boy.
We try to negotiate it and like, all right,
Pack
fine,
up body.
fuck you, bitch. And we leave, but we leave the body.
So like
I
a
like
Trojan horse,
Yeah.
but like an explosion horse.
Yeah.
Let's do it. It's only one melta bomb, right?
That's not even a melta-bomb. This would be the three blasting
blasting
charges
charges.
that we
Yeah.
have.
3 blasting charges in a body? Hell yeah, dude. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And then while they're cleaning that
They're
up, we can
pipe-shaped
plant the
devices. I
melta-bombs
know
on
we
the
can
towers.
stick those up ins. There's no... That's going to be easy.
So
Hang on.
So
I
the
would like
plan
to
is-
perform a Medicaid check, Brad.
You don't have to. The plan is no longer to go to Morkath's apartment. Now you're going to stuff a body.
Oh,
with
we're still
blasting-
doing
No,
that.
we're still doing this.
This is just
like-
another stage of the
Yeah.
3-layer plan.
Okay, talk to me
Keep
through
up with the
three-layer
asymmetric warfare,
Okay.
Brad.
I'm
We
so
go.
sorry.
We go to the building.
Yep.
We, as a group that is
Still
not
bad.
Mordecai and
Yep.
one Scion, prep all of this shit on the first or second floor.
Understood.
Mordecai goes up with other Scion, scopes the place out, does a intel grab,
Reconnaissance.
whatever he can do.
Okay.
Comes back down, tells us anything important. We go. Some of us, probably me, go in with the body and try and claim a bounty on the sly with this new body. Okay, we were lying to you. We knew that wasn't a lie. This
I'm with you now.
is
Justin.
now Elena there.
Okay,
Justin.
so plan is
One second, though. 1 second. While that happens, wouldn't it also be a good idea to plant them melta-bombs on the towers, too?
Yes, that was what I was
Yes.
also going to say as well. I am in there with maybe one other
Gotcha.
person. I don't care who.
I understand.
That's the distraction for the other people to now go around the outside and do melta-bomb charges, which we probably also need to either put on a remote detonator or a timer.
Well, the
Timers up to you
melta-bombs
guys.
are on timers.
On timers, yeah.
And
You have to choose what amount of time we want to cause chaos before we are in a safe place where we're not going to get blown up by melta-bombs.
yes.
Yep.
And then
Okay.
we maybe just dive in and raid the place.
Hell of a plan. Totally understood.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
You all make your way to Morkath's old apartment. Mordecai, you still have the data, the multi-key, which is literally, it's like multiple lock-picking tools all in one. You insert it, you do a couple wiggles, boom, pop, door
I
pops
have it.
open.
I have the access card.
Yep. Oh yeah,
Multipass.
that's right. You stole his access card. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Didn't steal it, just took it.
So you have, well,
He didn't need it anymore.
I guess that's true. It was a looted item. So, okay, so you do that. You make your way to Morkath's apartment. You and Leoval begin to climb to try to find your way up to a vantage point. Roderick, Dmitry, Osiris, along with the 2 remaining Scions, Tether and Swag, begin to work on prepping the plan. Osiris, I would like for you to please give me an awareness sight check. Just do it. Every once in a while, just don't ask a question. Just roll the damn dice.
I didn't ask a question. I just said no.
I didn't hear you say no, so that's even better.
I just saw the stare.
I did too.
No.
What's my difficulty?
Challenging +0.
And you said this is just awareness?
Yep. Awareness sight.
17 under 54.
And that'll do it. Okay. Now your +4 is better than their +1. As you walk into the space, and as you guys are prepping things, you see someone below you. You see as groups of 2 or 3 people seem to walk below the hab unit.
We have company underneath us.
Like
Perhaps we should start-
underground?
Under the hab unit.
We
You
should
can
start
see through walls.
shooting ground. We should start shooting down.
What
So
do
you
mean
watch
there?
Osiris, you watch as they come in. Like if you walked in the front door, they would be coming from your left and going to your right. Under the hab unit. Just every once in a while, there's a group of 2 or 3.
We need to
What
get
is-
out of here.
Is the cutter's place to our left?
If you step in the front door of Morketh's, the cutter's place is to the right.
It's to the right, so where they're
Do they
heading.
seem like
basically, maybe.
they know that we're up here?
They seem to be trying to be quiet, so I would assume that they would know that there are people above them.
Now, hold on. Before you make a crazy decision, this does not mean they are targeting us, but perhaps the tunnel just leads underneath. I mean, I think we should stick to the plan for now, unless you find a way into that tunnel.
We have 5 ways into that tunnel. We have
Yeah, we
7 ways into that tunnel.
8
do.
ways.
8 ways into that tunnel.
But do we want to get in there and just forego everything that we planned?
Well,
on?
the only thing this changes is what we do after we plant the melta-bombs for our current plan. If
Yeah.
we can make a way into this tunnel after we plant the melta-bombs and I can get out of that melt cutter's place,
Wait,
we can go
You can-
in through that tunnel.
you can see through walls. I don't know how big these hab units are, but can you see through the ground? You can go to the end and see where the tunnel goes on either side,
doesn't quite work that way.
But you could follow them.
but you could watch.
And see
you
them.
could walk above them and see them move. Yeah.
Theoretically, yes.
Well, then perhaps we can just find the entrance to the tunnel without having to do that. But do we still want to blow up cutter parts and then do the tunnel? So-
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, but hold on. But if you find the entrance, if this side goes into cutter parts, what are they going to do when it blows up? They're going to come through. You find the other exit, and we're there shooting them as they come out, or more blasting charges as they're coming out of the tunnel. If we
I
can
like
find
our
the
first
exit.
plan better.
No, I do too, but this is a continuation of the plan because once cutter parts blows up and we're not in there because these things are on timers, we go back to where this tunnel leads out to with more blasting charges, and while they're coming through that tunnel, we're blowing them up.
How big is this tunnel?
You can't tell.
we
Osiris
just see
can
the
just see
people.
people.
Well, like, are they 3 abreast? Are they 1 abreast?
That's in that question. No, they'd be
Like, how
single file.
wide?
They'd be single
Okay.
file.
All right. So right now I'm tracking. We need 3 meltas for the guard towers. So we have 2 spare, right?
hmm
Yes.
Osiris can line us up, and we can. These things are shape charges. So why don't we line one up on the top of this tunnel? We see these dudes skedaddling through,
Mm-hmm.
and sync that timer to the rest of them. So when they go up, their bolt hole also gets collapsed. And then we keep going in through the front. And then we'll actually be going,
So
potentially taking them in the rear because they'll be fleeing through this tunnel that they don't know is collapsed.
the one question remains, though: is this tunnel going? Is cutter parts where they're going to, or is it where they're coming from? So what I'm saying is,
Well, right now they're going to it.
I understand, but what I'm saying is cutter parts where they're, what's the word for it? Their hive, their congregation.
Hangout?
Base?
Is that
Their
where their
pad?
hangout is, or is Cutter Parts the entrance and their
I see.
actual hangout is on the other side? That's.
Mm.
I just want to make sure we don't fuck that up. Just because it's connected to Cutter Parts doesn't mean that's the destination. It could be the entrance.
I'm also going to point this out. It seems like it's going in the direction of Cutter Parts. You don't know that it goes to Cutter Parts yet.
Right. Sure.
Just to throw that out there.
True. How loud is a melt bomb?
Pretty.
Pretty fucking loud.
It says it's loud.
It is
It's rules loud.
It
It's a
actually says
fusion weapon.
in the rules, loud as shit. I believe.
Yeah, that's basically. So a melta weapon works by basically hyper compressing a particle that is then exploded into a ball of superheated plasma like a sun. A melta gun makes a really great hissing sound followed by a like volumetric roar as it punches this sun of plasma through anything armored.
It's a
They're
ring.
great for
Relatively
killing-
quiet.
Great for killing tanks.
Roderick's going to look at Mordecai and say, all right, Penumbra, what should we do then? Do we blow it up and then follow the tunnel? Or do we blow the tunnel first and follow the tunnel while we're blowing it up?
I would like to know where that tunnel ends up, to know if, again, Cutter Parts is the destination or the entrance, and how we figure that out without sabotaging ourselves.
Are we 100% sure there's not an entrance in this here building? This is where all those fucking creeps was living.
Well, that's why I'm saying it would be very great if Osiris could perhaps follow somebody going through there from the top to kind of see where it goes. But I don't. Also, you guys are on the bottom floor. Do you see a trap door somewhere? You want to lift some carpets?
I
Kick some
searched the
bricks?
building for a trap door.
As a reiteration, the first floor is like a entry hall. All
Mhm.
floors seem to be some kind of a flak boarded wood.
I searched the first and second floor for a trap door because there's
Okay.
nothing stopping somebody having a ladder going down through some shafts or something.
Roderick, give me a.
Can I help him?
You're on the top floor. You leave me alone.
Aren't you?
I'll
Aren't
help
you
you.
going with the scions? Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell-
I'm going on the side. Somebody helps. Somebody help him.
Guys.
Maybe the guy who can see through walls and shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That'd be better.
Just saying.
Give me a logic investigation check. Osiris, are you assisting?
Oh, it's gonna
Yeah.
be so bad.
Okay. Then you are going to get a plus 20.
It's still gonna be so bad, but here we go.
There's my ever
Oh, it's
vigilant talent. Does that
That's
proc?
not so bad. That's a 34 under
Mm-hmm.
46 with the
Okay.
plus 20.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like he's going to need it.
Plus 1. What don't I need?
Ever vigilance.
What does it do?
So Ever Vigilant allows you to gain plus 1 success levels to test to detect hidden enemies.
No, the other one.
But the other half of it is still in my hand. Don't worry there.
That's what I was talking
So
about.
Roderick, what was your total roll?
It's a plus 2. Or
Okay.
I'm sorry, a plus 1.
Okay. With Osiris having pointed out where this path seems to walk, you begin to scour the first and second floors. And as you look at the floors, how would you look for a trapdoor? Are you tapping? Are you rapping? Is it a knife? Is it like, what are you using to try to find something?
Well, one, I'm moving all the furniture where I see it, see if it moves in any way.
As a
Stomp.
reminder, there is almost no furniture in this place.
Yeah, I'll stomp around. I don't know. Is there any like tools or anything I could use? I don't have any
What do
tools
you have on
for
your
this.
purse? Do you have a knife?
I have a power knife. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, God. Yeah, I forgot you had a power knife.
I'll
Holy
use
shit.
that. That
Okay.
sounds fun.
All right, so you take the
I can
power
cut
knife.
through walls with and shit
Do you
with that.
activate
That's
the
fun.
power knife or do you just leave it off?
Depends on what I find.
Okay.
Do tell.
You begin rapping with the knife. First floor, nothing. Second floor, nothing. And as you begin to head it back down, Osiris, you remember that as they kind of came left to right, they were walking under the floor. But depending on the depth, it's a little offset. And Roderick, you have the inkling to wrap along the stairs.
Mm.
And the landing in between that entry floor and the second floor rings hollow.
These sons of bitches. Can I find though? Is there a handle somewhere?
With a +3, you don't find a handle. You don't find any way to. You just wrap it and it rings
All right,
hollow.
can I
but there-
find the edge of where it rings hollow?
Yes. The plus
I'm
3.
gonna turn my power knife on.
Okay. And just
Yeah.
down. Okay.
You just
trigger
rotos
the
at
field.
that bitch.
You trigger the field of your power knife and you jam it in, and it hits the wood. It goes through the wood, and it doesn't make another sound because it's a power knife, which means it melts through shit. It can carve through most normal materials with the power field around it. Do you just begin like literally cutting?
Yep.
Okay. Well, with a power knife, you easily cut through the flakboards that sat 2 inches above a metal door.
I feel satisfied that I had this item this whole time and I haven't had to use it at all yet. So I'm happy.
You rip off the square flakboard and you realize it's about the size of a door, trapdoor. The flakboard was sitting on top of the door. The whole flooring piece was a false floor. The door itself was 2 inches below the flooring. And your knife has carved around the entire metal frame of it. There, you see the hinges. You've cut through the metal in front of the hinges. It hasn't fallen yet, but it looks like it's about to.
Okay,
There's a
so
handle you could grab.
it's ready.
It's ready.
I'm gonna leave it as is. I'm not
Okay.
gonna break it open yet.
All right. You found a trapdoor.
I'm gonna
Mordecai.
go after I get done doing that. I didn't tell anybody I found it until after I got done. I'm gonna pant into the box beat. Guys, I found Narnia.
Roderick finds
Don't trust any
Narnia.
queens.
Like Narnia business.
We need to blow it.
Nah, I got it.
Guys,
Mordecai.
we might be getting somewhere.
I'm gonna find Dmitry and I'm gonna hold up my still activated power knife. Yeah, didn't know I had one of these, did ya? That's a knife.
Can I just say how
I hold
happy I
up
am?
my bullshit knife and visibly disappointed.
Can I just say how happy I am that Alex, you finally just said, why don't we just go back to the house where these guys were from?
Sorta. I wanted
Anyway.
to. Anyway, yeah.
You climb the stairs with Leovold as this is all happening. You've made your way to the... Are you like going up onto the roof and heading across or something?
If I feel comfortable that I can get to the roof, I'm assuming the roof has like some sort of, it's not just flat on top, right?
It's not all of them. Some of them are flat. I mean, it's
Mhm.
again,
If I can have
imagine
footing and
Shantytown like cyberpunk.
if I can have footing on it and something to kind of hunker down behind, I will go to the roof. If I can't, I'll go to the highest window.
Okay, so you get to the highest window first. Let's start there. 5th floor.
Okay.
You have 2 windows. They look out directionally, let's call it south. Cutter parts would be to your left if you look out the windows. You can see cutter parts down the road, from the 5th window, but you see a sliver of it. As mentioned before, you remember that you could see it, and you can see the yard. You can see the main gate and the 2 towers, but that's all you see. You can't see further left, and you're not quite high enough to see over the walls itself. I mean, you see over the wall, but there's too much blocked
No
because of
Gandalf.
the narrowness of the view. There is a way to access the roof. It's not a stairway. It's not a door, but kind of like an attic trapdoor. There is a door that you can
Yeah.
pull down that would get you up to
gotcha.
the roof.
I will
Leovold-
cautiously start to go to the roof.
Leovold follows, and he just kind of hunkers down. And as you two hit the roof is mostly flat. It's got a little bit of a grated, like a slanted grate. It's very much reminiscent of like old corrugated steel,
Okay.
like almost like the imagine like a cheap tin roof kind of a thing, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And he just crouches low and just goes, "Yeah, so let's do the thing," and begins hustling across the roofs. And you watch. The roofs themselves are pretty uniform. One's flat, one's got an angle. There might be a little something here, a little something there, but he moves up to a roof about 3 halves away, right next to a slanted roof, and just crouches down below and begins looking out over it.
Brad, question. Can I
Sure.
see further with my magnoculars or my scope?
They're both going to have pretty similar levels of vision, the difference being that magnoculars, like binoculars, give you a larger field compared to a scope.
I will use the magnoculars then.
Okay.
I just want the best option without looking like an idiot with a fucking sniper rifle on the roof.
And to reiterate the plan is to essentially watch the yard for an extended
Yes.
period of time to get an idea of what you're looking for.
And I'm gonna work this out with Leovold as well. Like, we're not gonna be watching the exact same spot so that we
Yep.
can get the broadest scope.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Okay.
gonna kind of assign him something to check out, and I'll just to make sure we get the,
Okay.
most.
As the three of you, plus the two scions, are prepping the demolition charges and the weapons, Mordecai and Leovold spend most of the afternoon up on the roof. It takes you a few hours to get the information you want,
It's fun.
to fully understand what this place looks like. In the scope of that, with magnoculars, you don't even need to roll. You're using binoculars to spy on a yard. But you see as the towers change their watch once during the time that you watch, during the afternoon, right before the evening bell would ring. You can see through the doors where they told you that they didn't want you to go because they've left the doors open again, the idiots that they are. And the train is there. And it is being armored. And it is being armed with all kinds of weapons. You can see as the yard itself, where they do business, has been cleared. Mostly cleaned up. A lot of the tents and a lot of the stalls that you saw have been either removed or pushed off to a side, which is fairly reminiscent to the last time you went to the Cutter Parts. And they told you that they were not really doing business at this time because it was also 1 a.m. at that point. But it looks very similar to that. You also notice something different. Something that wasn't there last night. And you don't have to roll for this because it is so obviously stand out. But if you remember, the explanation of the Cutter Parts was that it was this old, worn down, what appeared to have once been a manufactorum of some kind. Which means that it is embossed, like everything else, with a skull of the Imperium. And hanging from that skull were some of the bodies of people who had crossed the Cutters. Hanging along the walls were people who had crossed the Cutters. Hanging above the gate is the body that woman said was Elena, which is still there. But now, hanging below the skull, in faded red robes that seem to be worn with time, is very obviously the slightly hunched and slightly deformed form of Fuckwat, the tech priest-ish ex-Mechanicus member who
Baron
worked,
Cyrax.
Baron Cyrax, who worked, also known as Fuckwat, who was working with the Cutters on some of their weapon testing, specifically on some of the developmental weapons. And his body hangs prominently from that skull above the yard.
You're
Over the
muted.
course
Turning
Of
on
the-
their own people. That's fun.
over the course of those 4 hours, you don't see anything else that stands out to you as strange. What you do see, they have dogs that wander the yard. They don't have guard patrols on any regular interval throughout the yard, but every member of the Cutters is basically heavily armed at all times. That is their gang's mantra. They are guns. So, the yard itself doesn't seem to have any routine formal patrols of any kind. It does have a pair of dogs that are always in the yard. But you also notice they never really seem to leave the doors by the train. During the course of these 4 hours that they're watching the yards, you three, along with the other two scions, prep every explosive known to man that you need to in the way that you desire. You watch as the scions also basically field strip and clean their weapons and treat each other's wounds. Quick battlefield dressings, nothing crazy. They look to each of you as they're maintaining their weapons and just offer to help you with the maintenance of your weapons as well, as part of their preparation.
I think I probably would have those guys swap out my my attachments on my sniper rifle
Okay.
and throw them on that bolter. I don't think I can use all of the different types of ammunition on it, but I think I can use a couple of them. So I'd like to put the fire selector, my scope, and my exterminator charge. And the melee attachment onto the bolter.
You can absolutely do that. I will tell you that you don't have... So when it comes to ammunition, a bolt gun is considered a long gun, same as your sniper rifle.
Yeah.
It uses very different ammunition than your sniper rifle.
I know it does, but a couple of those are solid projectiles
Correct.
and bolt weapons. So I'll check which
No.
ones
I'm
they
not
are.
worried about I'm not worried about the attachments. The attachments is fine. I'm saying if you want to have a fire selector still for your ability to swap rounds.
Oh, I got to
rounds
change
you-
the actual. Yeah. I got
The
you.
rounds you
Right.
purchased are all for your sniper rifle, which is a very different round than a bolt gun.
Very fair.
But they can swap any of those attachments for you as they prepare their own weapons.
That's okay. I'll just have them. I don't know if I can use the silencer on it or not. It's probably not gonna fit on there, right?
I'm gonna
So-
just rule no, because a bolt
Yeah.
gun really can't be silenced.
That's fair. I'm gonna put the melee attachment and the exterminator charge.
They can
on there.
totally help with that. Yeah.
Okay, and then I'll leave the rest on the sniper rifle.
Okay. Anyone else want them to help?
I don't know if I really care
No.
if they help, but I am going to swap one of my laser sights to my bolt pistol, and I'm going to swap out one of my las pistols with hot shot,
Okay.
and then I'm going to swap a man stopper onto my stub pistol.
All right.
Strap up, dudes. We're about to get
About to
pretty
get weird.
nasty.
Anyone else?
We got to talk.
Unless I need to do any kind of a Medicaid check to stash these charges in the body.
No.
Okay.
You know, and you were doing such a basic thing, and you know enough about a body that is already pretty much blown to shit from Mordecai shooting a bolt round into its chest. You managed to stuff the charges in and get the body assembled in such a way that they're fairly hidden in the viscera.
Hell yeah.
All right, Mordecai, your sniper rifle, because you had them prepare, and at this point it is too late for the rest of you, because you had them help you with swapping some attachments. They did a little field cleaning as well. You will get advantage on the first shot you take with it.
Huh?
Nice. Thank you,
I said I
fellas.
don't
She's looking
care
nice.
if they help or not, but
You did say you don't care if they help or not, and then told me everything you were doing. So I said, okay, that means
Yeah,
that
that's
means
fine.
you don't need them to do it.
We do need to discuss how long these timers are going to be on these melt-a-bombs. Realistically, I mean, we should give ourselves plenty of time. Get in, get out, leave the body.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
You mean a couple hours at least, bro? What are you
No.
talking about?
No, 2 minutes. In and out. Be done with
I
it.
mean, how long did our last
It's Ocean's 11 this
interaction
shit.
take?
How long did what take?
Our last interaction there take when we
10
were trying to
minutes.
get the bounty.
It took you 10 minutes, yeah, to try to get the bounty.
But what I'm saying though is when we set these charges, we need to give ourselves enough time to go in and come back out, and blowing up that body doesn't matter. We'll know how much time's left on the melt-a-bombs. So I'd rather give ourselves more time than
Well, we don't want to give them too
not
much
enough.
time to discover the explosives.
Right.
we want
Right.
a small amount of time on the body charges. We want a slightly longer amount of time on the surrounding charges.
The body charges don't matter though, because we can remote detonate those.
True.
Correct?
No, you don't have a
Dmitry?
demolition charge, you have blasting charges.
So we have
Yeah,
blasting
they're-
charges. Those are on timer as well.
So they are on to okay.
You could
Alright.
you could set them to a remote detonator. The scions could help you with that. You could set them on a timer. A blasting charge immediately, the ones you have, it's ripping a detonate and tossing it. You have to do something.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
get him on a remote.
Well, the melta charges on the walls can be a timer. That's
Hmm.
I think fine.
Yep.
The body, if we can remote detonate that would be an added layer
what,
of protection for Roderick in
15
case
minutes?
they run the timeout.
Yep.
Okay.
I would hate to be
Yeah.
standing there and then suddenly go, all right, bye.
So like 15
Pull
minutes?
a McLovin on them and just
Yeah, I think maybe 12 to 15 minutes, somewhere in there. Probably fine.
This assumes we have the melt-a-bombs placed and
True.
ready to go too. So
The scions can absolutely set a detonator onto the blasting charges. It takes them about 30 minutes to do it correctly.
Sweet. So it's remote detonating.
And the blasting charges within the body are now remote detonation.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then while I'm talking to them, it needs to be enough time for you guys to be planting melted charges around the outside too.
Well, I'll be going with you and keeping you, bringing cover towards you because I don't want you going in there by yourself.
So this is another question.
Could be dangerous for my fail-safe plan, but carry on.
Should me and this other guy be
If you want to.
taking sniper positions or coming in with you? That's another question because it could be useful to have somebody watching these towers while the melta bombs are being placed.
Well, I mean,
So
I'll
we
go.
can-
I'll go
hey, they're
with
distracted.
Roderick,
Go in.
just
Right.
because like having him go
Yeah.
by himself is going to be hella suspicious. And
That's true.
I tend to be, disarmingly undeceptive towards people, so I can.
Put their minds at ease with your
But-
absolute creepiness.
No, not put not put their minds at ease so much as distract them from any ruse you're trying to pull.
You can also tell me if they're up to any fucking psyker shenanigans, which would be
Sure.
much appreciated. And you could also spy on them through their own walls, which would be really cool.
So me and Leopold take high positions to watch from above.
Well, we need
No.
to
Dimitri
set
and-
melta charges.
That's
Dimitri and
me
two
and the other two
scions
scions.
set
Set
3
those
melta
3
charges.
And then Roderick and,
You two-
and Osiris going in to the thick of it.
And
Into the
Mordecai,
thick of it.
if at some point when the detonators are about to go off, if an opportunity arises to kill those dogs that are going to inevitably be
Yeah,
a pain in
yeah.
our ass, that would be
Mhm.
probably not a bad
Dogs.
idea.
suck.
Please don't make me kill dogs, but I guess
Yeah,
I'll do it.
it
Yeah,
has to be
I don't
done.
want to either. But
Yeah,
if they're going to hear us
These aren't
coming,
the kind of dogs you're thinking of.
that's
No.
true. That's true. These
not.
aren't real.
these are wargs. We created wargs to make you feel better about killing dogs.
There we go.
These are like wild dogs.
Okay.
So
You have a plan.
we go.
now that
Yeah.
that plan's in place, we don't have to do anything else, right, Brad? It's just going to happen exactly the way we said.
You have
Also-
a plan.
Are you going to have enough time to do that and get back to this apartment so that we can watch this tunnel?
Why don't we
no.
figure out a rendezvous plan later?
Okay, I'm going to walk through this real quick for you.
Famous last words.
Assuming everything goes well, me and Osiris wander our way in. We're charming and disarming and whatnot.
Yep.
And they talk to us for the allotted amount of time that we want them to.
Absolutely.
And we walk back out while Mike, Dmitry, and the other two scions are stealthily planting all of these melta charges around their walls, and nobody happens to notice them, even though they have guards posted on the walls, because hopefully I'm making a big enough ruckus that they're paying attention to me, and the dogs don't smell anything off because they're certainly not trained to go after melta charges or anything. Assuming all of that goes well. If it doesn't, we're going to basically be in a big fucking melee where me and Osiris are in the crosshairs in the middle of their fucking base with our
Oh.
shit all set up to go on timers that's way later. So
That's where my
Um,
smoke grenades come in.
that's where the smoke grenades come in. I have one too, by the way. But if it does go all according to plan, yeah, sure, we can rendezvous back there and then go at them through their own tunnel.
I am also going to suggest that my blasting charge be on a timer with me so that if we need to blow this tunnel below here, I can do that as well.
You mean a remote detonator?
A remote detonator for the blasting charge to put under the trap door here in case that tunnel needs to be blown.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I was also thinking that tunnel might also be our only escape route if we get stuck in their base. But
Yeah, but we can be on box speeds, and I'd rather have that button ready to go and have it just in case. And if we don't blow it, we don't blow it.
that's also
We're
your
all
way.
going to die here, aren't we?
That's fine.
It's also your way
It's
into
fine,
the
we'll roll
base
up next
because
week.
inevitably we're going to go into the base where you can't see us from sniper cover, so you're going to actually have to get in there somehow too. So I was assuming you were coming in through the tunnels with the other scion at some point.
True. But I would rather have it there and not blow it up
Yep,
than
agreed.
not have it
Okay.
and then
So-
not have
Tainted.
it.
So,
then
we're only putting one in the bottom.
Dmitry removes the third blasting charge
Oh, we're
from
putting
the
two in the
ooze
body.
of the
There's
body.
2 in there, yeah.
The scions can set that on another charge.
I
and
hope
help.
somebody's writing all this down because I'm not going to remember all this shit I just said. That's going to be a thing.
I wrote down my roll, but
It's going to happen within the next 5 minutes, don't worry.
Fine, I'll type it.
Dmitry removes the third charge. The third charge is set onto its own remote detonator given to Mordecai and attached to said trapdoor in such a way as to blow trapdoor down and destroy tunnel, they think. Hopefully it's enough charge. As this is all happening, Mordecai,
Yes,
Leovold looks to you and at this point you guys are finishing your monitoring. He goes,
we're good friends.
"Well, I think you got somebody on the Vox waiting for you."
No, yes. Hand it over. Hey,
I don't have it. No. It's Tether. Tether's got the big Vox. You
Oh
remember?
God, I
Tether
start
had
crawling down there.
Yeah. You make your way back down in. The Vox has L. And she shares with you. She goes,
I tell her I am very sorry to have kept you waiting, Al.
"Oh, well, that is so kind. It's okay. I have my tea today. We are very pleasant this afternoon.
Blessed tea. Lovely.
Blessed tea. Listen, I spoke with your friend Petronilla, and I must say that her state is not one for good conversation. But I did share with her that you were asking if she knew what happened, and from what I understand, she and her group were engaged with some chaos cult that were manipulating and tainting the meat to hurt the people of the Hive itself. However, she said that before things went south, they had beaten these cultists down and had them captured. And she had asked and begun interrogating a couple of them. Now, what level of information you get out of a heretical individual like that is not my nature, but she did mention that they said that this individual shared that they were to attack the fields in a larger scope of things. It sounds as if there are many pieces in motion. She also said that as they began to question this person, he was shot with a weapon. Quite honestly, it sounds like something of Xenos origin, but the individual was shot and killed as she was questioning him, and then her group came under attack again.
Did the weapon make their skin melt?
No, this one did not, and it was almost like smaller barbed slivers that made them explode. Quite honestly, it sounds like I'm not sure how much you know of this, but it sounds like something of the Eldar's nature.
Eldar? That sounds like something Dmitry would like to hear about.
But regardless, her group came under attack. She said that they were ambushed by a larger group, not the same, and almost to a man slaughtered. She managed to hold on after being exploded by some explosive because she fell out of their sight, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. She did basically say, though, that as they handled the cult, they were ambushed by yet another group. She said a couple of them seemed to have almost like bluish skin.
Ah, yes, the blue skin. Yeah, we've come across many of those. It seems that it's part of this gene stealer cult. They're
That's what I thought.
Yeah, as they're replicating, I don't know. I don't know this shit very well, but it's clearly the same people that are attacking us.
Have you located them yet?
We think we might have an idea of where they're going. We're posted up in a hab unit right now that has a tunnel that seems to be leading to the cutter parts. We haven't confirmed that is exactly where it goes, but we have a very strong suspicion. We're engaging in a plan right now to take out their base. Whether or not they're part of this gene stealer cult or not, they're moving Gratis, which is part of our primary mission of being here in the first place. So
the cutters are moving the Gratis.
They are heavily involved in the Gratis. Them and another gang have been duking it out over who controls it for a while, but they clearly have their part with it.
Ah, yes. Well, here's what we will do. The Sister Celestia has told us not to intervene.
Boo.
However, the head of the Sisters Hospitalier. However, oh, you said boo.
I said
who.
boo. I said
thought you
boo.
said who.
No.
She goes, however, there's a bit of flexibility in what I can do. I'll have a group waiting. Is there a particular turn of phrase, code word, that you could
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
now?
Go Loud for Unicorns is one of our favorites.
What is a unicorn?
Exactly.
It's like a narwhal.
Go loud for unicorn.
It's narwhal with legs.
Well, if you can, I will not have much time, so this has to be something where if you can, but if you call this line, one of my sisters will be watching, and we will have a strike team of 5 ready to go. If you actually find this cult, you're in for a hell of a fight.
No, just to be clear, are you saying we should only do this if we find the Gene Stealer cult?
I am saying that what I am telling you is not sanctioned by the sisters, and therefore I have one shot and one shot only.
Yes, I knew the first time we met you, you would be quite a strong ally. You seem to be an outstanding member of your sisterhood.
Oh.
Go loud for unicorns, it shall be. You lick spittle. You get +1 with L.
I already have +1 with her.
You get another +1 with L, is what
Hell
I'm saying.
yes.
+2 with L.
Moving up in the world.
You're
I
really
got a
licking that.
soldier, I got a +2. I got...
Lady is old. Here I come. I've got a horse to sell you.
Moving forward, we're going to get like one of those jars of brownie batter and just have Sandy walk by and smear it on Alex's nose when he does this shit. So you get +2 with L. You now have the ability to summon with a Go Loud for Unicorn over an appropriate long-range Vox, a Sister Hospitalier strike force of 5.
That seems very useful. Okay, well, I will relay this information to the other guys, and that's that.
I also have a Vox caster, so I can probably send that signal out to you if
You
needed.
do have a Vox caster, which is needed for long-range Vox transmissions.
I'm listening to this whole conversation through my data leech.
All right. So, you have an Ocean's 11 style complex plan. That is not going to not leave my brain now. Thank you, Carl.
You mean
You've got-
kill team 8?
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
Kill teammate.
Son of a bitch,
7, because the one guy died already.
Yeah,
Just kill team 7.
No, it's still
Kill
8 in
team
his
8
honor.
-1.
Yeah, that's
Was
true.
Wasn't there a movie about like the Hateful Eight or the Unlucky Eight or something?
The Ridiculous
Hateful Eight
Six?
was a Tarantino.
The Ridiculous Six, the
We're getting
Unlucky
there.
7. On that note, we have a plan which involves multiple moving parts to plant multiple melta charges on watchtowers while Roderick and Osiris create a distraction inside
It's
the game.
gonna work.
Mordecai and Leovold to maintain Overwatch and potentially have to take care of dogs if the dogs begin to make moves.
I would also like to point out somebody else came up with this plan because Roderick certainly did not. There's no way.
The Emperor
Because we came up with it together
It was,
as a
it was a
moving part.
collective
It
effort.
worked. Yeah.
I
The Emperor
suggested the
tickled-
body.
Yeah, the Emperor tickled your brain stems. We have a convoluted and multi-part plan. There are many steps to be taken. And
gonna
the
be great.
only way we're going to find out if it works is next time on the Tainted Hive. Now, you all gain a little Whisper of the Warp. You're all going to gain 10 experience. In addition,
I like Whisper of the Warp. That's a good name for it.
I feel like Whispers of the Warp is an actual game mechanic that I'm not remembering, but either way,
Sounds like a yucky
It is.
fart.
It's okay.
a yucky fart.
Whoops.
Whispers
In
of the
addition, for the creation of a very complex and convoluted plan that is actually extremely well laid out with multifaceted parts and not just reliant on one thing to go well, which I appreciate, you're all going to get 15 bonus experience to gain 25 experience this time. Osiris, for your vision, being able to see through walls, damn psychers, and in the assistance that gave in locating the trapdoor, you will gain an additional 10. So everyone gets 25, Osiris gets 35. And when we come back, this show, sponsored by the wonderful people over at PrimetimeMagic.com, will execute the Emperor's 11 and see what happens when they begin to try to breach the cutter parts.
Kill
So-
team 7.
Let's see. 8.
Thank you so much for joining us. We are Dead Sons Company. This has been the Tainted Hive, Season 2, Children of Rokarth, Episode 30. Holy
Is
hell.
it 30 already?
It's 30.
30.
Good God.
It's 30.
This season is almost as old as I am.
You know what? That's where we're going to leave it. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like what you heard, please consider sharing our show. Like, subscribe over on YouTube. Head over to deadsonsco.com where you can see access to everything we've ever played. Depending on when you're watching this, there's going to be a lot. There's already a lot, but there's only going to be more depending on when you see this. And if you really like what we do and you want to support us, you want to help us buy really cool artwork and music and all the stuff we need to do all this cool stuff, please consider heading over to patreon.com/deadsonscompany where you too can sponsor a Mordecai and keep him from living in a van down by the river.
Why would you do that to my friend?
I like
He
my
wants to
van.
live in a
Let
van.
him live there.
He
I
wants
like
to
my
live in a van.
That's
by the
one of my
river, so-
dreams. Just covered in magic cards and a fucking van. This sounds amazing.
Swimming through him like Scrooge McDuck.
Well, thank you so much. We will see you next time on the Tainted Hive. Now I just see him swimming through cards like Scrooge McDuck.